My parents mocked my anxiety until I stopped speaking. My dad waved my report card in the air and shouted, "Look at this! Participation needs improvement." What, did your mouth fall off? While my mom fake gasped and said, maybe she's finally learned to shut up. I didn't say a word, not because I couldn't, but because I'd stopped speaking 3 weeks earlier and they still thought it was a phase. Dad slammed his hand on the table. Say something. Anything. I stared at the wall. Mom groaned. See? This is what anxiety culture does. She thinks being quiet is a disorder now. 3 weeks earlier, they joked constantly about my panic attacks. She's dramatic. She's fishing for attention. She's scared of AIR. Then one night, they mocked the way I breathe when I get anxious, exaggerating it, laughing until their faces turned red. Something inside me just shut down, so I stopped talking. No warning, no explanation. I just turned off. At first, they tried bribing me, then yelling, then guilt, then more mocking. Oh, is the anxious little kitten too overwhelmed to use big girl words? I didn't flinch. Now they were angry. Dad slammed the report card on the table. This silent act is embarrassing. Talk. I blinked. Mom leaned across the table. Stop pretending. You're fine. I picked up my school notebook and wrote, I don't feel safe speaking to you. Dad read it and laughed. Unsafe? In your own house? Don't be ridiculous. Mom snatched the notebook. You're embarrassing us. Your teachers called. They said you're not answering in class. You're making us look negligent. I wrote, you are. Mom froze. Dad sneered. Explain yourself? I didn't. He stood up so fast his chair flipped over. Enough. She's going to a therapist. Clearly she needs discipline. Mom added, not the expensive one you wanted. We're not paying for feelings. But here's the thing. The school counselor had already called CPS in the background. Not because of the silence, because I handed her a page I wrote describing how my parents mocked my anxiety attacks. Verbatim quotes, dates, times. I had been documenting everything. I didn't think anything would happen. I just needed someone to know. But apparently it mattered. So when the doorbell rang mid-argument and CPS walked in behind my counselor, my parents' faces melted. Mom whispered, what did you do? Dad muttered, this is a misunderstanding. The counselor stepped forward. We're here to check on the welfare of your daughter. She reported emotional neglect. Mom jolted. We didn't neglect her. She's just sensitive. Dad said, she's doing this for attention. The counselor looked at me. Can you communicate in writing? I nodded, grabbed my notebook, and slid forward a stack of pages. Dates, descriptions, quotes, all of it. Mom lunged for the notebook. She's exaggerating. I pulled it back. The CPS worker said calmly, ma'am, sit down. Dad tried to spin it. She's been rebellious. She stopped speaking out of nowhere. The counselor glanced at me. Why did you stop speaking? I wrote, because they laughed when I asked for help. Mom's face cracked like old porcelain. We were joking, I wrote. I wasn't. Dad rubbed his forehead. Can't we just talk this through as a family? I wrote, I can't talk. Not here. Silence filled the room. Ironic, considering that was what started this whole meltdown. The CPS worker asked, do you feel safe staying here tonight? I didn't hesitate. I wrote, no. My mom gasped like I'd stabbed her. Dad said, this is dramatic. She's manipulating you. I wrote, I documented everything. Then I handed the CPS worker the final page. On it was the quote my mom said 2 nights ago when I had a panic attack in the kitchen. Oh my God, stop acting. You're not dying. You're annoying. She turned pale. The CPS worker closed the notebook slowly. We will be arranging temporary placement with a relative while we investigate. Mom burst into tears. She's destroying our lives. I wrote, you destroyed mine first. Dad tried to chase after me as I packed a small bag. You can't just leave. We're your parents. I turned, held up my notebook, and wrote one final sentence. Parents don't mock their kids for breaking. Then I walked out with the CPS worker, leaving them in the silence they always claimed they wanted.